Hello, welcome to day 2 of the 21 days challenge. Today we are talking about trusting your heart and trusting your intuition. So, for those who have the book and are following along, if you want to know where you can get the book, the link is in the description. Okay, so today is a really fun part because Um, today you're going to learn about the importance of trusting yourself, trusting your heart, and listening to how you feel. I think sometimes it becomes foreign for us to really pay attention to how we feel. And sometimes we have been made to feel like, okay, maybe it's not okay for us to express our feelings, or we're being dramatic, or can I really trust how I feel? And the one of the core foundations of femininity is being able to trust how you feel, trust your heart. But in order to trust your heart, because you may hear that, you may say, okay, that sounds like a very nice statement, but what does that mean? So, what does it mean to trust your heart? So, basically, your heart is the seat of your emotions, it's the seat of your feelings, it's the seat of your intuition. So, trusting your heart means that you're in tune with that part of you, that still small voice that tries to speak to you and let you know exactly what is going on with your in your life at that time. So basically, your emotions are barometer about how you're responding to your environment, to your life, right? So how you feel things are going in your life. Um, So before I get into it, let me start off by reading the quote for today, because I always want to start off with a good quote. So today's quote is, "When your heart speaks, take good notes." Judith Campbell. So basically, what that means is that your heart is able to give you direction in life. Remember, because I said it's the seat of the intuition. So it will give you direction. It'll let you know if you're on the right path to um, heading in life, if things are going the way you want them to or not. So never ever discredit your emotions, even if you feel like, okay, maybe I shouldn't be feeling this way. Maybe the way I'm feeling right now is negative, and maybe I want to feel more positive things. It doesn't matter. It really does not matter. The only thing that matters is how you feel. I had a conversation actually with someone last night, and he was telling me that he had this feeling about this woman that he's seeing. Not only work with women, but I always like hearing about men perspective because I very much understand it. So he was telling me about this woman he's dating and how something she did really made him feel uncomfortable. And he told, well, before he told me the situation. She had said something, or she had spoke too much about her life prior to him. So I told him, I was like, so that made you feel very uncomfortable, right? And he was like, yeah, I mean, I feel like I shouldn't, but it did make me feel kind of weird about her. And I was like, I know, I know it did, because, and I told him, I was like, the thing about it is that what she told you is something that she really should have kept to herself until you guys have gotten more acquainted with each other, you know? So, and he was like, well, I feel bad. Like, I feel like I should not be feeling the way I feel towards her, but um, I just can't help it. Like, and I don't want to bring it up to her because I don't want to be mean, but I just don't like the way I feel now. I just feel different. So I told him, and he was like, what do you like? He's like, I don't want to be a jerk. And I was like, well, first off, I want to tell you, however you feel about it, feel uncomfortable, feel like she's not your cup of tea, like whatever your emotions are, they're valid. You know what I'm saying? Even if you're judging your emotions as being negative or judgmental or critical or any of those things, they're still valid. They're valid emotions to have. So I told him, don't feel guilty because you feel a certain type of way. Like your emotions, your heart is what protects you. And then this is even more so true as for a woman, for us women. This is our heart is what protects us. You know what I'm saying? So you feeling uncomfortable, I told him feeling uncomfortable about this situation means that it's something that he need is something that his heart is letting him know that is a problem. You know, it may not be drastic enough like you need to never talk to her again or in the dating situation, but it's definitely something that you need to address either within yourself or within her, right? So he was like, okay, thank you. Like I didn't want to be like a jerk or whatever. He was like, I don't want to be a jerk about it, but it just didn't sit with me. And I'm not going to say the situation, but he just said it didn't sit right with me. So I was like, okay, well, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, don't feel bad because you feel how you feel. So I think sometimes, and this is even more so with women, like we feel guilty because we feel like, okay, I should always feel positive. I should always have like a happy, chipper type emotions going on. Um, and then when you feel anger or you feel resentment or you feel bitterness or you feel like sadness or any of those type of emotions, you start to feel another negative emotion, which is guilt or shame. And it becomes a spiral thing of not being able to get out of negative emotions, right? So the thing about emotions, there's something that is supposed to, you experience them and then you move on. You don't, this is how people get stuck in habitual, especially with negative emotions, habitual sadness, depression, and anger. It's because they don't know how to feel their emotions and move on. Emotions are temporary things. Nothing about emotions is supposed to last um, a prolonged amount of time. You know, if you're happy, even good emotions, like you're not going to always be happy. You're going to be happy because of a certain situation that happened in your life. Then, you know, something else happened and maybe you feel neutral or you feel something else happened to you negative, someone cut you off in traffic, and for that moment you feel some type of a negative emotion. Maybe you feel sad, not sadness, but like anger or annoyance or something like that. So, and you just feel that emotion, say, okay, this is how I feel right now. Um, and then I move on. You know what I'm saying? So, um, when it comes to being your most feminine self, you definitely have to understand the power of your emotions and being able to control yourself and not being led by your emotions. So when your heart is speaking to you, you listen to it. You listen to everything that it has to say. Um, and I have a meditation in the book for you to practice being able to listen to your heart, and really understand like what it's saying and how to recognize when your heart is speaking to you. After a while, like when you get in tune with yourself, you will have to like take time out of your day to be like, okay, what am I feeling right now? You won't have to do that because your heart will like start talking to you without you having to ask it, right? So, because just think about it, like if you are talking to someone and you feel like they're not listening to you, right? You're probably not going to be inclined to want to talk to them anymore. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be like, okay, they don't listen to me when I talk, so there's no point in talking to them. So that's kind of the same situation with your heart. Like if you like a lot of people are like, well, I don't know, like the best decision to say, and it's like, okay, well, what do you feel about it? How does your heart feel? And they're like, I don't know. And it's probably because like you don't take the time out to listen to your heart. You don't take the time out to be in tune with yourself, to meditate, and to be still and be quiet. Some people are always in go mode. They're never alone. They never spend any type of alone time. They never get in tune with themselves. They never meditate. So of course, you're never going to be in tune with your heart. You're never going to be in tune with your spiritual and visible self. So after practicing, I think my meditation in the book is a very good practice to do. After a while, you won't even need to do that. Your heart will be like, okay, she wants to listen to what I have to say. So in certain situations, I will let her know. You know, certain situations, your heart may speak louder than other situations. But your heart is not just speaking to you in a feeling or an emotion. It also gives you like hunches, or like maybe you'll even hear like a nudging or something to do something. You'll feel like nudge to do something, if that makes sense. So all those things are your heart kind of directing into a certain direction. So the reason why, as a feminine woman, your emotions are so important is because being feminine means you're in tune with yourself. You're in tune with your being. You're in tune with your emotions, and you're an emotionally mature woman. And you're able to express yourself from those emotions. You're able to express yourself from those emotions in a mature way. You're not you're not flying off the handle, you're not extremely despondent, you're not using guilt trips or manipulation tactics to get your way. You feel those emotions, you say, okay, I feel angry about said situation, I feel resentful, I feel whatever I feel about said situation, then I'm going to express myself I'm going to express my emotion, I'm going to express my feelings, right? And see, as men connect to a woman because she's able to connect to herself, connect through connect to her own heart. She's able to connect to her own heart. She's able to feel her emotions, and she's able to express those emotions to him, and he's able to feel those emotions. And then that's how a connection and intimacy and uh, a commitment can easily blossom in chemistry and that spark and all those things that you have in a good relationship. But you have to learn how to tune into your heart, and then you have to learn how to be emotionally mature. And a lot of women are not emotionally mature. When you're upset, you fly off the handle. When you're sad, you're guilt tripping, or you're crying uncontrollably. When you feel triggered by something, like maybe he's ignoring you, or he's not contacting you as much as you like, or you don't like anything he did, like, maybe he's calling you after 10 p.m. You told him only call me before 9, and he keeps doing it. So it's like you feel that, like, okay, he's not respecting me. And an emotionally immature woman, what she will do is she'll tell him about himself, or tell him off, or block him, or something like that. And then it's like, okay, then the man is like, even if he may be in the wrong for what he did, and he knows he's in the wrong. He knows he's in the wrong. Like, he should have called you instead of having you wait for an hour to pick him up, or to meet you out on a date, or pick you up, I should say. He will get in defense mode because of because of you not having emotional maturity. Even though he know you're wrong, he know that he should have picked you up on time, or should at least had the decency to call you, let you know he's going to be late. But he would feel like, oh wow, I don't know who she's talking to. Like, why is she talking to me like this? Like, she's tripping. She's crazy. That favorite word that men like to call women, she's crazy. Right? So even though he may have been in the wrong, like I said, he knows he's in the wrong. But he won't feel that. He'll just feel the attack on him that you're giving him because you don't know how to control your emotions. So a person who knows how to control their emotions would say, okay, I feel disrespected right now. I feel disregarded because he is late and he did not let me know. And it's valid for me to feel that way. But what's not okay is for me to lash out, to act crazy, be dramatic about it, or any of those type of things. Or, I mean, you can block him. It's your phone. You can do what you want, but that's not a mature way to handle the situation, especially if it's not a chronic thing, or you haven't even had a conversation with him about it prior. So when you speak from your heart, saying, okay, my heart feels disrespected, I feel disrespected, so I'm going to tell him I feel disrespected. And if you tell him that in a way that's not making him the bad guy or trying to lash out on him, then he'll hear you and be like, okay, you know what, you're right. You are absolutely right. I should have called you. I'm wrong. My apologies, my bad. I'm sorry. I will make a better effort to be on time. And you see how he will get into fix-it mode. Because when you're your most feminine self, you help a man to be in his most masculine self. And one of the things about masculinity is they're always trying to find solutions to problems. So if he's like, okay, there's a problem here, and I can understand her problem, and it makes sense because the way you expressed it hit him in the heart. He's like, okay. It didn't touch his ego, because when you attack him, his male ego comes up and he's like, gets in defense mode, you know. And he's like, okay, well, I don't know, like I said, I don't know who she's talking to like that. Like, she's blowing this out of proportion. It's not that big of a deal. And then you feel disrespect. You feel like, okay, well, he don't understand. It becomes a cycle, because it's like, you feel like he's not hearing you, and he feels like you're attacking him. And then that's where issues start to rise. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. So Money said, is being sensitive okay? As No, it's not. I was gonna say yes, but no, because usually people who are sensitive are not emotionally mature. Like I said, they don't, because it's not, like I said, it's nothing wrong with however you feel. Even if somebody, they're like, so don't let anyone tell you like however you feel is not okay or truthful or valid or whatever. Don't even let yourself, because I feel like most of the time we ourselves tell ourselves that how we feel, we shouldn't be feeling like this. So usually it's not anyone else who's telling you that you're wrong for feeling that. It's usually yourself. Right? Like the example with that man, he was doubting how he felt. He was like, I feel like I shouldn't feel like this. I kind of feel like I'm being a jerk. So it's usually we're our own worst critics. So when it comes to being sensitive, I would say in the sense of like feeling deeply about stuff, that's okay. But if you act on that sensitivity, then it's not okay, if that makes sense. Because usually a lot of people who are sensitive, like they are very reactive, emotionally reactive, right? So it's like if they get their feelings hurt, they're gonna lash out. If their ego is bruised, they're gonna lash out. Or they're gonna get angry or get extra sad and start crying uncontrollably. So they're not able to first feel that emotion and then speak from that emotion, um, in a calm manner. So hopefully that makes sense to you, Amani. So it's not in and of itself being sensitive is wrong, but it's usually the fact that most sensitive people their egos are very sensitive, and they get triggered easily, and they don't have the maturity to um, not be reactive. Okay, you're welcome. So that's pretty much all I really wanted to say about today's theme. But today is about trusting your heart, which is basically trusting your intuition. And I would urge everyone to do the meditation that's in the book, and just really get in the practice of listening to your feelings and not feeling bad for feeling how you feel. I think that is what really needs to get in practice, because we are our own worst critics, and we love to feel guilty about things that we should not feel guilty about, especially if you haven't acted on it. You can't help how you feel, but you can help your reaction. So, like if you feel anger, there's nothing wrong with feeling angry, but if because you're angry, you go and slash someone's tires, or hit someone, or put your hands on someone or harm them or try and get revenge or even go curse someone out. That type of stuff is not okay. But just feeling angry, that is your body, your heart telling you that someone is trying to harm you, or something that someone has done is not in your best interest. And you should pay attention to it. You should pay attention to the situation. So when you get angry about something, it means that you feel like someone is trying to harm you, right? Or someone, like you feel this fear of like someone's trying to do something to me. Or maybe you feel anger about a situation that doesn't have anything to do with you. Like you maybe feel you see someone else getting beat up or something, you feel angry about that. Like it means that you feel like something isn't fair, right, in that situation. So the same thing with anger, sadness, all those type of emotions. Like you feel like something shouldn't be happening right now. Like there's something that should not be happening. And so that's why you feel negative about it. So that's fine. That's your, like I say, your heart is your kind of thermostat, I guess, to your environment, how you're reacting to your environment. But your behavior shows if you're an emotionally mature person or not. So just because you're sad doesn't mean that you should, be crying uncontrollably for an hour. Or because you're angry, you should, like I said, go bash somebody's tires or slash somebody's tires. Like none of those things are acceptable. So that's what emotional maturity is about, is being able to feel certain emotions, even very intense emotions, and knowing how to act in an appropriate manner, and not being so overcome by emotions that you are out of control. So self-control is also an aspect of it. But the more you get practicing, the more you'll be able to understand that emotions are temporary things, and I can just feel this emotion, even if it's a very sad emotion, like it's temporary. Because as you know, if you looked in back of your life, like if you've well, we've all had negative emotions, but you've been extremely sad about certain things, you've been extremely angry about certain things, and you've gotten over it. So at that time, it may feel like the end of the world, but it's not. You will move on if you allow yourself to move on. A lot of people never move on from situations because they don't understand that emotions are there for you to feel it, um, act appropriately for the situation, and then move on. Not to dwell, not to ruminate over it. This is how people get into depression and have those type of issues and anger issues and stuff like that, because they don't know how to healthily process their emotions. So this exercise in the book will help you to get in tune with your heart, and also not just your emotions, but whatever guidance your heart may be giving you about a certain situation. If it's telling you this is a good man for you, this isn't a good man for you, you'll know. And even with stuff that's not related to relationships, your heart will let you know where you should be going, which directions you should be going on. It's in chapter 2, so just chapter 2. I think it may be different if you have Kindle, but and my book is kind of the older version. It's been updated since I have like the original copy, so my pages may be off, but I think it's on page 11 in the book if you have the paperback version. Um, yeah, so that's pretty much it for today. It's just learning to tune into your heart, because when you're able to do it, you're able to connect with your emotions and your feelings, and then you're able to speak from your heart to his heart. And heart to heart is the only way that a true lasting relationship will blossom into something of permanence. You're welcome. Okay, guys, so I will see you tomorrow. So make sure you read today's section, answer the questions, and if you have the Kindle version, feel free to write in the notebook. If you have the paperback, you can write in the book, or if you write in a notebook, if you plan on doing this exercise more than once, then I would advise maybe write a notebook so you can keep maybe seeing how you grew or something over time. If you don't have the book, if you're wondering what book am I talking about, the link is in the description. If you're not already in my Facebook group, join my Facebook group. Link is also in the description. And what else I want to say to you guys? Subscribe to the channel, and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. And that is it for today. So hopefully everyone has a good day. You are inspired by today's reading, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.